All right, welcome. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on two of the most fundamental and honestly most confusing concepts in the Go programming language. By the end of this short explainer, you'll get exactly how Go handles its data under the hood. So let's dive in.
So let's just kick things off with a classic, right? A Go interview question that trips up, it gets everyone, from beginners to seasoned pros. Are slices passed by value or by reference? The answer isn't a simple yes or no, and it actually reveals a core truth about how the entire language works. And here's the thing. The answer to that slice question, and really to so many other questions about how Go behaves, it all boils down to one single simple principle. Just one golden rule that governs everything.
And this is it, the one rule you have to burn into your brain. In Go, everything is passed by value. And I mean everything. There are literally no exceptions. This is the foundation, the bedrock for everything we're about to talk about.
Yep, that's it. When you pass a variable to a function, Go always makes a copy of it. Always. Now I know what you're thinking. Hang on a second. When I pass a slice to a function and change it, the original does change, and you're not wrong. The magic, and let's be honest, the confusion, all comes down to what is actually being copied.
So, this is where things get interesting. Even though that one rule, everything is passed by value, is always true, it creates two totally different behaviors. We can kind of group Go's types into what we call value types and reference types based on how they act when they get copied.
Let's start with value types. The easiest way to think about a value type is like a physical paper document, right? If you give your colleague a copy, you've used a photocopier. They have a completely separate piece of paper. Anything they write on their copy, scribbles, notes, whatever, has zero effect on your original.
So what are these value types? Well, they're the usual suspects. Your basic numbers like ints and float 64s, bools and strings. But here's the important part. Arrays and structs are also value types. This means when you pass a struct to a function, you are passing a complete, full-on copy of that entire thing, data and all.
Okay, now for the other side of the coin, reference types. And the best analogy for this, for sure, is a link to a shared Google Doc. Think about it. If you email that link to someone, you're not sending them a copy of the document, are you? No way. You're just sending them the address, the URL that points to it. Now, both of you are looking at the exact same document online.
And this is where we find our tricky friends, slices, maps, and channels. What do they all have in common? Well, the variable itself is really just a tiny little thing, a header or a pointer. It's basically just a little note that says, hey, the real data is over there in memory. So when Go's golden rule kicks in and makes a copy, it's just copying that tiny little note, not the massive filing cabinet of data it points to.
So here's the bottom line, the key takeaway. For value types, you copy the actual data. Think photocopy. For reference types, you copy a pointer to the data. Think Google Doc link. The result feels totally different, but the underlying mechanic, pass by value, is exactly the same. It's all about what is being copied.
Okay, makes sense, right? Now that we get the two different behaviors, let's talk about how we actually create these things from scratch. And this brings us to another classic point of confusion for Go developers, the whole new versus make thing. And you'll see this builds directly on what we've just covered.
First step, new. New has a really simple job. It works for any type, and all it does is allocate a chunk of memory, fills that memory with that type's zero value, like 0 for an integer or false for a Boolean. And then crucially, it returns a pointer to that memory. The best way to think of it is like reserving a brand new, totally empty mailbox at the post office. The mailbox exists, it has an address, but there's nothing inside it yet. Then we have make. Now make is special. It's like a VIP function. It only works for 3 specific types: slices, maps, and channels. You can't use it for anything else. Its job isn't just to allocate memory. Its job is to properly initialize the complex machinery that those types need to actually work. And it gives you back a ready-to-use value, not a pointer. This leads to a really important question, right? Why the special treatment? Why do these 3 types get their own special function? Why can't we just use the general-purpose new function for a slice or a map? And the answer to that question perfectly highlights the difference. If you were to use new on a slice, what you'd get back is a pointer to a completely empty, zeroed-out slice header. That header would be nil, it wouldn't point to any data, it would be totally useless. It's an empty shell. Make, on the other hand, is the function that actually goes out and builds the underlying array that the slice needs to point to. It does the whole setup, making it ready to go.
So let's just nail this down one more time. New allocates zeroed memory for any type and gives you a pointer back.
It's our empty mailbox. Make is the specialist. It properly initializes just 3 things: slices, maps, and channels, and gives you the usable value back. It's like building and delivering a fully assembled, ready-to-use filing cabinet.
All right, so we've covered the golden rule, we've talked value versus reference behavior, and we've sorted out new versus make. Now let's put it all together. Let's answer those tricky interview questions with the kind of precision that makes you sound like a senior engineer. So, let's circle all the way back to where we started. With everything we know now, what's the complete, nuanced, expert-level answer to this question? Are Go slices passed by value or by reference?
The correct and impressive answer is this. Slices are always passed by value. What gets copied is the slice header, and that header is just a small struct that holds 3 things: a pointer to the underlying data, a length, and a capacity. So even though the header itself is a brand new copy, the pointer inside it is also copied, and it still points to the exact same original data. And that's why, when you change the elements of the slice, the changes are visible to the original caller. It creates the effect or the behavior of passing by reference.
And this perfectly explains a classic Go gotcha. You've probably run into this. Let's say you pass a slice to a function, and you append to it. If that append causes the slice to run out of capacity, Go has to create a whole new, bigger array somewhere else in memory. Now the function's copy of the slice header gets updated to point to this new array, but the original caller's slice header, it's completely untouched. It's still pointing to the old, smaller array. This is exactly why you so often have to return the modified slice from the function and reassign it. And for our second big question, what's the difference between new and make? The perfect, concise answer is, new is a general-purpose function that allocates zeroed memory for any type and returns a pointer to it. Make is a special-purpose function that only initializes slices, maps, and channels, returning the ready-to-use value itself, not a pointer.
So look, the final takeaway here isn't just about memorizing a bunch of rules. It's really about a new way of thinking about your code. Knowing when you're passing a copy of the actual data versus just a copy of a pointer to that data, that's absolutely fundamental. So the real question is, how will this change the way you design your functions from now on? Are you going to pass a huge struct and create a big copy, or will you just pass a pointer to it? Will your functions modify slices in place, or will they always return new ones? Nailing this down, well, that's the core of writing really effective professional Go code.